Part of your reading this week is Chapter 2, pages 36 to 46. This chapter is called Process and Technical Communication, and basically the entire chapter is about how to plan and execute and perfect your writing projects. So they offer an example of someone who needs to write, and they explain that person's process. And there's this lovely graphic here that breaks down planning, drafting, and revising for technical writing specifically. And these should be considered actually three more or less separate stages. I know sometimes students may be of a mind that they should wait until pretty close to a due date for a paper and then just write it all in a quick blaze of glory and submit it and never think about it again. But we need to draw some very severe distinctions here. In technical writing, you are to always be thinking about your audience and not about yourself. You always have to think about what is the information that you have to communicate, how are you going to communicate it, and how do you want that audience to receive it. So it's a good idea to study this graphic. Can give you a lot of help in your planning. You want to plan early, always. You want to do your research, always. Where it talks about collecting information right here, the third step in the planning graphic. Information collecting usually involves research. Now, sometimes you can do a bit of that research in Google. Other times you are really going to need to use the OneSearch page in the Fresno State Henry Madden Library webpage, which I have a video on that for you as well. The drafting is potentially something you could do in a blaze of glory, but a lot of times when people are doing this, they're doing it without referring to their sources, and so it usually ends up being something you throw away anyway. But if that's motivating for you, go ahead and write that paper in a blaze of glory, knowing that you're only going to throw it away, but that having done so is probably going to help you organize the final product later, which is fine and good. And of course, the revising process, for right now, we're not worried about graphics. We'll do that in later papers. But adjusting the content, making sure that all the content that is supposed to be there is there, and that none of it is needlessly repeated. Check your tone, your writing style. Edit for grammar, eliminate those run-on sentences and fragments as much as possible. Make sure that the word choices that you have selected, if you got them from a thesaurus, take those words to a dictionary and make sure that they mean what you think they mean, and look for sample sentences to make sure that the usage is the same. For example, I don't know why it is, but lots of people want to use the phrase discuss about, which makes no sense whatsoever. Discuss does not take a preposition. You can talk about something and you can discuss something, but you cannot discuss about something. Anyway, so edit. Editing is good. You need to determine your purpose, and your purpose is always going to be given in your assignment sheets. And you'll always, I think almost always, you're going to be offering information. You're going to be analyzing something, and for the most part you're going to be making some type of a claim or another, although not for this first writing assignment. So these are common. You want to determine the purpose. You need to think about neutral and objective statements versus persuasive and subjective statements. In technical writing, we tend to lean on the left side of this equation here, toward neutral and objective. Persuasive and subjective statements, those are largely for other things and not for technical writing. So be sure to take care of your tone in that way. You want to ask yourself, why am I writing this document? And have a good purpose for it, one that is field related, that is informative, useful. You want to think about who your readers are and what response do you want to have from them. This is all part of the planning. Your book offers you this nice planning form that helps you to break down who your audience might be. If this is inside of your organization, who makes decisions, who advises, and who in your organization might be receivers who read the information and then presumably do something with it. So the planning form is very, very nice, and you have instructions for completing that planning form. The book also talks about analyzing your readers, which for technical writing you absolutely have to do this. You can't just write out of the air, as many of you quite possibly do with your college papers. Write for your reader, not for yourself. Think about who your readers are and what they're doing when they're on the job. Bosses and managers and even advisors and operators are subject to constant interruptions on the job, where other employees or possibly patients, customers, will be interrupting whatever their thought process is and stopping them. Your readers might be impatient, looking for the information that they need, so you need to put it in a place that everybody who's looking for information can find the information that that reader needs. Subheadings are really, really common in technical writing, so that because it's understood, right, that in technical writing no one reads something from beginning to end. It's not a novel. Certain people need to read certain parts and they know what they are, so they're going to flip through your documents to find the thing that they need. So don't hide it from them, make it obvious that they can find it. Also understand that the readers that you have in your organization, some of them will share your technical background and others won't have it. They will have a different sort of a technical background. So you need to be writing the sections for those people in their language. And also, whenever you're in an organization, it is very rarely the case that a single person has authority over everybody else and makes an independent decision. An organization is made up of lots of people with lots of different kinds of knowledge and talent and expertise. And that is by design. Organizations work better because everybody doesn't know the same thing. So those people are going to share what they know in order to come to decisions, which is the point of it, yes? The point of having people working together. So your book tells you about this. Audience analysis step 2 says to talk with colleagues who have written to the same readers. My recommendation to you is, of course, seek out your faculty if they are available to you, if you can talk with them and ask them questions about things you might be writing for this class. And, possibly to learn information about how you can prepare yourself for your field. It's always a good idea if you can find some people who have some time and who know things that can help you. When you're in an organization, you would need to know who are the decision makers. Are they managers? Are they owner-operators? Maybe they are experts, depending on what the field is. Remember that all readers prefer simplicity, and types of readers, and this is really good information, the different technical levels that your readers might have. And this matrix here, the decision-making level, is here to help you sort of break it down. Now, why does your book go into so much detail about who your audience is? And it is, again, very, very simple. When you are doing technical writing, your total focus must be on who you are writing for. Because you can think of it this way, for example. Let's say you did something special on your weekend and different people in your life ask you about what you did. When you are telling your close friends what you did, you perhaps select particular things to share with them and share with them in a particular way when you're telling your story. Now, when your grandmother asks you the same question, I'm willing to bet that the things that you decide to talk about and the language that you use to talk about it and the way that you tell that story changes perhaps quite a lot. It could depend on your weekend. But I think you gather my meaning, that you need to think about who it is you are writing for. What do those people know and what do they need to know? What do they want to know? How can you address them to get the information across? How can you address them to make sure that they trust you, which is also quite important and not focused on so much in this chapter as in later assignments. But you have to analyze who you're talking to before you go and write a piece of technical writing. And there are, of course, some general readers, but that is not everybody, not by a long shot. People who write in the professions are not very often writing just for general readers. There's usually some analysis done to find out who knows what and who thinks what. Okay, I think that about does it. Yeah, we were just going to go up to page 46, so audience analysis, and best of luck to you.